What's up, everybody? It's your boy Duty back again with another video, and oh my lord, yes, the Begmas marathon is finally over. Good lord, that just ran on and on and on and was just utter super boring. So what hopefully I'm trying to do is I'm trying to grab enough footage for you guys to watch it so that we can make fun of Phil without wasting too much of your time. So the one video I wanted to quickly post was his kind of epilogue at the end of his Begmas marathon. And oh my lord, apparently our boy Phil was playing 4D chess with everyone. And in this video, he goes on to say that essentially this was an experiment or a trap for the detractors to prove them wrong yet again. Very similar to when he was playing 4D chess when his car broke down. And of course, it was just a test and something to Phil, to do a gotcha on the detractors. Same thing, and I find it so laughable. So essentially, our boy Phil comes at the end of the stream, essentially says that the reason why he made the gin, the gin tip so high for him to take a swig of gin was because he wanted to prove a point. Not that he wanted people to donate $100 so that he can drink, but essentially it was a trap to show the den heads to show the den heads that the detractors are lying when they say that Phil has one, a gin addiction, and two, whales. He actually had the nerve to come on stream and actually say that he does neither. He neither drinks gin and he has no whales, or not whales, but essentially no whales. That there are no whales that are supporting his stream and his livelihood, and essentially, propping the dead channel. And I want to come on and say that's bullshit and show you proof. So let's hear what Phil has to say in this video.
I drank a lot. I had 2 helpings of the horchata. I had a 1.5 White Russians. I had that sake drink that wasn't very good because I put way too much lemon juice in it. And I also had 1 shot of whale tail. I told you that. Now, here's the thing, because I would like to let you know what my rationale was. Alright,
here it is. And by the way, that thing isn't called whale tail. I believe it's called gray whale.
On everything today. Alright? Ladies and gentlemen, like everything, I actually had a plan behind this. There was actually a reason why I did this. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the very beginning of today's stream, I said, if I receive a $100 tip, I will do a shot of whale tail gin. Oh my god, it's so good. Seriously. And I said...
Right, someone that doesn't have a gin addiction doesn't sit there and smell gin and say, oh my god, it's so good. I bet he creamed himself.
I would only do it for a $100 tip. Why? Because I didn't want to get seriously drunk and not be able to do the whole stream for you guys. I felt it was more important for me to put out an entertaining and fun and lengthy marathon than for me to get wasted, you laugh at me for 5 minutes and then realize I'm passing out and that's the end of it.
First of all, he's retconning that again, because he didn't say that, because in his initial statement earlier today and before, he actually stipulated and said that he has the right to refuse or stop taking tips if it gets to be too much. So now he's retconning it where it's, he didn't expect to get any tips, or, this was all some elaborate plan for him to show his den heads that the detractors lie and, spread lies and rumors about him. Let's keep going.
Okay. Now, there was another reason behind it. Are you ready? Because this was the plan all along.
And by the way, he got 1 den head to tip, and then later on in the stream, he was begging more dents to tip him $100. So this had no double meaning or some secret agenda where he was trying to entrap the detractors. No, he's saying this shit now because only 1 person donated, and he only was able to take 1 shot of gin. That's why he's now coming up with this. Oh, it was some master plan. Phil, you're not smart enough to come up with any of this, okay? You just realized that your gin, your gin tier goal failed miserably, and nobody was giving you $100 except that one dent head that gave you the $125. No one was going to donate $100 to watch you drink gin.
I wanted to prove a point, all right? The meme number one is that I drink gin, which I don't. I don't drink gin actively anymore, okay? But the other meme is this.
Bank leaks. We can clearly show that he drank. He went to Total Wines, God knows how many times, and I'll show you that later on when I pull that up.
It's right here, the whale. There seems to be a ridiculous misconception among people on the internet. In particular, it's my haters and my detractors, or whatever you want to call them, but amongst other people as well. They seem to believe that there is a very small group of people out there that they call whales, who seem to be the major reason why I still make a living doing this. They seem to be under this oddball impression, this really unsubstantiated impression, that maybe there's like 10 or 20 people, okay, who support everything I do. It used to be that it would be Viking. Remember Vidar Viking? And then it went on and they said, oh, it was this person or that person. Over the years, they said it was only iced coffee. Remember that? It was always a different person that they would, this is the excuse. And then the thing is, yes, these people absolutely do support me and my content. They do. But at the same time, they're not the end-all be-all of the support. They're one piece of the puzzle. The reason that I am successful and I continued to allow myself to continue to make the content I make, to not have ads, to not shill, to still be true to myself, is because so many people, hundreds, not a dozen, hundreds upon hundreds of people appreciate what I do and step up to support it on a daily basis. And the fact that I'm a variety content creator means that every time that I do a stream, there's another group of people who watch that kind of content. Today, there were people watching Fallout, which is probably not the same crowd who's interested in watching me play Resident Evil, which is probably not the same crowd who's interested in watching me play Disney Dreamlight Valley. You understand? It's a little different.
Okay, I want to stop here and address the wine thing, because I have that information up, and I'm bringing this up to, this is straight from Piece of Peace tip tracker, where he has a tab here specific for the bank leaks. Like we all know, the bank leaks were released, right? And in the bank leaks, it documented almost 2 years worth of transactions from DSP's, bank statements and so on. You guys know, and it's been proven over and over and over that they're accurate. So if you look here, you can sort it out by transaction, pay your total wine right here. So starting on March 2020, right? March 18, 2020, every single week, practically, where we have the week, you can see that our boy Phil paid a visit to Total Wine and made a purchase, right? Check it out. Look at that. Look at that. Roughly $30, $45, almost once a week, or roughly either once a week or once every 2 weeks. Look, you see these transactions here? Total Wine, $100 here. On the 17th, on the October 7th, a week later, $35, a week later, $53, a week later, $68, another week later, $111. And this goes on and on and on, all from 2020 straight through 2021. As you guys see, almost every single week. Total Wine. Look at that. So, and it only went up to September 21st because that's when the bank leaks were released back in 2021. So you can see practically every week our boy Phil was drowning himself in alcohol and in gin. So to you to sit here and say that it's a lie, that you don't drink alcohol, or that was a long time ago, is false. This goes back a year ago, and the only reason why it goes back a year again is because they were released a year. I'm pretty sure if we were to look at your statements again today, we would see the same amount of transactions for Total Wine. All right, Phil? So that is lie number one that was just debunked by me. Okay, so let's go to the next lie.
And I appreciate the fact that I have a wide viewer base from all walks of life who like seeing me do all these different kinds of things. The point I'm making here is that I don't need 1 or 2 giant whale supporters to be successful. It's nice when that happens. 2 months ago, Team Ico Gamer showed up, gifted an insane amount of memberships, and everyone was happy for a month because everyone had to get the membership. It was like, seriously, like 600-700 gifted memberships. It was out of control, right? Obviously, that was an amazing time of celebration, and I had a really good month, of support. And I actually felt good. I had a little bit extra money. Honestly, that's why I was able to do things like buy a new controller, which I needed desperately because my old controller had a faulty thumbstick. See, I was able to get a replacement monitor. One of my monitors was on its last legs. Honestly, that's why I was able to get my wife a nice Christmas present of an Xbox Series X. So thank you, Team Ico Gamer, for that, right? But the thing is, this is not the end-all be-all of me. Although people would like to say dumb shit like that, like, oh, it's just a few people. It's not. Today, there was no sign of any whales whatsoever. If you didn't notice, right? There was no one who came to the stream and all of a sudden said, oh, I'm going to drop hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I'm going to do $100 tip and $100 tip and $100 tip to see Phil drink the gin and buy into the gin whale meme that his detractors say, because that'll be hilarious, right? That didn't happen at all.
Yes, because no one except for one person wanted to drop $100 to watch you drink. That doesn't change the fact, Phil, that you have several whales that prop up your channel and support your channel. Now, what I want to do is I want to go back to the tip tracker, Pieces tip tracker, right? Let's open that up. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Let's open that 1 second right here. I'm just pulling it up. Okay. So what I wanted to do is let me zoom this in a little bit here. Okay, so you guys did see the total wine stuff that I talked about. Now what I wanted to do was I grabbed a Pieces tip tracker, right? I make this a little bit smaller. Okay. So I grabbed this tip tracker, right? And what I did was I pulled the information I wanted to see into a separate spreadsheet just so that I can see it, right? So what I essentially did was I took the tip tracker. So I'm just looking at the tip tracker, right? And I sorted it out by total tips. Now, again, this goes back to April 2001. I believe that's when it started, when Phil had to come to YouTube. I believe that's when PCP started tracking it. So as you can see here, since that time, right, 1 Minute Man has tipped $11,535, right? Jack Rackster, $4,321. And then as you can see here, it shows when they last tipped. Now, some of them, tipped every so often and so on. Emil, everybody knows Emil, which we all know this is one OIC's sock account, which I believe this is one of his sock accounts. Game Trucker is another one that we believe is another sock account. Yeah. So as you can see here, Phil has several whales that simply kick out. Now, what I wanted to quickly show you real quick is right here. This is what I wanted to show you. So I sorted it out by total tips, right? So as you can see, these are his top tippers, right? So if you were to take a look at his top tippers, right, that support him, and let's say a whale number, let's say $1,000. So in about a year and a half, anyone that's contributed $1,000, right? Right here, we have a total of 17 people. 17 people. 17 people. Those are the people that have propped up Phil's channel going back to April of 2021, right? And if you weed out some of the older tips, because you can see here, like Murdoch, he hasn't tipped since April of this year. The Patriarchy hasn't tipped since May. Slayer hasn't, but I know he's done other stuff. You know what I mean? Or Turtle hasn't donated since May, right? So if you look at this and you just look at the names that constantly tip over and over again, you got your 1 Minute Man, your occasionally Jack Rackster, Emil, right? Your Game Trucker, We got that new chick now, Lisa Lou, who's been wailing out. She's gonna be up here soon. You got about 17 people that actually have been donating to Phil consistently. 17 people. Now, you know, I can also do another filter and just simply look at anyone that's tipped, you know, in the last 3 or 4 months, and that would shrink this significantly. You know, yeah, he has the occasional people that tip a couple dollars here and there. As you can see here, I mean, like I think total he ended up with 471 people, or 470 people that have total. A lot of these, you guys know, there are a bunch of duplications in here, so it's actually less than that. But I just didn't want to take the time to actually filter this out, because there's some duplicate names and stuff, so the name is kind of misspelled a little differently. Like instead of an O, there's an A, but it's the same person, so it's a lot less than that. But I mean, if you simply weed those out, just focus on people that have been supporting his channel, let's just say in the last 6 months, it's very small. So this clearly shows that Phil has a handful of whales that prop his channel up. Now, the other thing I did was I totaled this number out, right? And it came out to $90,780 in tips, right? If you were to take away the smaller donos, so let's take those away, and let's focus on the top 17 pay pigs that have donated more than $1,000, right? I'm gonna delete this, right? Here it is. These 17 people have donated $41,208 out of the 90,000, right? That was there. So if you do a little bit of division, essentially if you take let's just do round numbers, let's do 41,000, and you divide that by 90,000. These 17 whales are responsible for 45% of Phil's tips. 45%, 17 people. So the notion that he sits here and says he doesn't have whales is bullshit and debunked. And you can just simply look at this, looking at his tips, right? And we all know that tips are the most important thing to Phil. Tips are the liquidity of the business. Let's keep going.
Take a look at the amount of support I got today. This was an effort from a ton of people who all like my content, stood up and said, hey, we'd like to support Phil together because we want to collectively see him supported, right? We don't want to see him fail. And thank you for that, because you proved my point today. You really did. You allowed me to show that this is not Phil reliant on 1 or 2 people. And I'm very happy about that. Honestly, I would much rather have a stream that has 350 likes, right? A ton of super chats and super stickers, a bunch of memberships, and a bunch of tips, and they came from like...
I love Phil's straw man. Oh, I don't just have 1 or 2. No one's ever said you had 1 or 2, Phil. We've said you have whales. And I just showed proof that in the last year and a half, you've had about 17 whales that have propped up your channel, Phil.
100 or more people. Rather than, the most successful stream I've ever done, and it all came from 1 person. I would much rather have the former than the latter, okay? And I'm grateful. I really am. I'm very grateful for that. Because it allows me to know that if something were to ever happen, like for example, again, do I have regular supporters? I do. And I'm happy for that, and I'm grateful for that, and it helps a ton. But if anything ever happens, and if a supporter says, man, Phil, I can't really do much anymore, that's okay. In fact, I can tell you this concretely.
All right, hold on. One other thing I wanted to show you, just Phil doesn't understand the internet, and he doesn't know that you can actually go and double check things and verify shit he says, right? So here, from the DSP tip tracker, right? That was hold on. Here it is. The DSP tip tracker that is tracked by piece of piece. You clearly see here that only 15 people tipped him. 15 people. And of that, you got Lisa Lou with $125, and you got $82 in anonymous tips. And then of course your fake 1 minute man that dropped $25. So I love when he sits here and he tries to make it seem like hundreds and hundreds of people support him, and it wasn't hundreds of people supporting him. Okay, and matter of fact, okay, yeah, he did get a good amount of support today, one day. This is his Christmas marathon. People come out, they feel generous, and they give it to him. Let's see what he makes tomorrow. I'm betting tomorrow he makes hardly anything. He might make a tier 2 tip goal if he's lucky. So let's go back to the video.
That's happened tons over the years. Someone who's a huge supporter who comes by every single day, supports as much as they can, I mean, once a week or whatever it is, right? Once a month. And then all of a sudden they're gone. That happens. That's called life, right? At one time, I used to be a super fan of the Angry Video Game Nerd and the Nostalgia Critic. I digested that.
Yeah,
but it's not one person. Or, oh my god, this one person who was the financier of my entire business has disappeared. It's never happened. For a year after Only Iced Coffee stopped contributing to the streams except for an ongoing membership, people kept with this meme, this stupid detractor meme. It's Only Iced Coffee, it's Only Iced Coffee. They're idiots. They don't know what they're talking about. And I want you guys to understand, every one of you.
Okay, Jesus Christ. OIC himself went on two podcasts, Agent Proper and Super Craze, two, where he talked about and actually said that he was Phil's whale, that he was several people, that he created sock accounts, that he propped up the whole membership thing for a long period of time. OIC is still around. OIC, I believe, is Emil, and he's probably several other people. He's probably Game Trekker and a few other people. And in those videos where he actually said, he admitted, yes, he's this person, he was this person, he was this person. He talked about how he created sock accounts to give memberships. So he's still around there, Phil. Okay, he's still supporting your streams, just like 1 Minute Man. Even if he is, I believe he's fake. Tons of people have said that he's Planet Jeff. So, you know, your whale is just essentially evolving the different people and names or identities, but they're still the same whales. Okay?
Who was here today, who watched, who liked the stream, who interacted with me on the stream, who supported in any way, a super chat, a super sticker, a membership, a gifted membership, a renewed membership, a tip. All of that amounted to how awesome today's marathon was. It was not one person. It was all of you together that made this a very fun marathon event. And that's how it always goes. Don't listen to...
No, Phil, that's not how it always goes, Phil. If that were true, you would be hitting multiple tier goals every single day, which you do not.
The nonsense and the negativity and the stupidity of the idiots on the internet who want to say otherwise, they're wrong. If anything, today's Christmas marathon, and boy is this the season for it to prove them wrong, show that this was not what finances DSP Gaming and keeps me going. It's not the whales. It's not the memes. It's not this bullshit that they talk about all day long. This is their dumb stupidity right here. Whale Jing. This is their dumb mouth-drooling nonsense that's not true. It's you guys out there and gals who watch and who support me. You're the ones, not their dunce nonsense.
I love how he tries to say our dunce nonsense. Yeah, this is the man that has 3 tiers of tips, where he puts on a silly hat, where he puts on silly gunner glasses and a stupid ass vest, right? And this is the man that has these stupid, inane goals. And, you know, not to mention the 100 like bubble blow, okay? So you're sitting here talking trash, Phil, when you really need to look at yourself and see how pitiful you are.
All right? So don't listen to it, and don't worry, because it doesn't bother me at all anymore. You know, I proved my point yet.
It doesn't bother anymore. Yeah, all right, Phil. It doesn't bother you, but you went on an 18-minute rant about this, and I cut you short because I got tired of hearing you. and my video is about 11 minutes. I'm actually going to stop it because this video is going over 25 minutes. So anyway, I'm going to just leave it at that, but I just wanted to point it out. When I watched this video, I thought it was utterly ridiculous and just utter garbage, and I just showed solid proof that Phil doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, and he's talking out of his ass. Yes, he has an alcohol problem. I showed you that from the bank leaks and those charges. And second, yes, he has whales. He has roughly about anywhere between 16. I'm not even gonna say, because I think some of them are duplicates, and I honestly don't believe 1 Minute Man is actually real. He has about 14, let's say 14 to 16 actual whales that prop up his pathetic channel, and we have proof of it. The tip tracker's out there. You can view it. You can see who's tipping, how many tips he gets, who are the whales, and big ups to Piece of Peace for tracking that, because it's just flat out proof that what Phil is saying is utter garbage. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace out.